Every month, you do the responsible thing. You take some of your salary and you put it away. You don't spend it, you don't touch it. You watch the number in your savings account get a little bigger, and it feels like progress. It feels like safety. But here's what's actually happening while that money just sits there. It's losing value, quietly, every single day. You're not saving money. You're watching it shrink in slow motion, and the bank is the one telling you it's growing. Let's talk about why. Money is not a fixed thing. It's a measuring stick, and that stick is constantly getting shorter. Economists call this inflation, and the simplest way to understand it is this. The same $100 buys you less and less every year. Not because the dollars changed, because everything around them got more expensive. Think about a loaf of bread. 20 years ago, it cost a fraction of what it costs today. The bread didn't get fancier, the dollar just got weaker. And if your money isn't growing faster than prices are rising, you're not standing still. You're falling behind. Here's the part that surprises people. Most savings accounts pay you an interest rate of 1 or 2% a year. Sounds nice, sounds like growth. But if inflation is running at 3 or 4% a year, your money is technically growing in the account and shrinking in the real world at the exact same time. You gained dollars, you lost buying power. Both happened. Only one of them shows up on your bank app. This isn't a new discovery. The economist Irving Fisher described this gap between the interest rate you see and the real return you actually get almost a century ago. He called it the difference between nominal returns and real returns. Nominal is the number on the screen. Real is what that number can actually buy you. And for most people sitting in a basic savings account, the real number is barely above zero, and some years it's negative. So why does savings still feel safe? Because loss by inflation is invisible. There's no red number, no alert on your phone, no moment where you watch your balance drop. It just quietly buys you less, year after year, while the balance keeps climbing in a way that feels like winning. Compare that to debt. Debt feels dangerous because the cost is loud. You see the interest rate. You see the monthly payment. You feel the squeeze immediately. Inflation does the opposite. It's a slow leak in a tire you can't see. And most people don't notice until they try to buy the same things they used to buy and realize the math doesn't work anymore. Think about your grandparents for a second. Maybe they told you a story about how cheap something used to be. A movie ticket, a house, a car. They're not exaggerating. They're describing real prices from a real time, before decades of slow leaks added up into something enormous. Inflation rarely feels dramatic in a single year. It feels almost nothing, but stretched across 20, 30, 40 years, it reshapes what your money is capable of doing. This is why so many people retire with what looks like a large number in the bank and still feel like it isn't enough. It's not that they failed to save. It's that the version of enough kept moving while their money stayed still. And here's the part that makes this even harder to notice. Banks aren't hiding this from you. They'll happily show you a chart of your balance going up, month after month, year after year. That chart is real. It's just incomplete. It shows you dollars. It doesn't show you what those dollars can buy. And that second chart, the one nobody puts on the home screen of your banking app, is the one that actually matters. So does this mean saving is pointless? No. An emergency fund, money you might need in 6 months, that belongs in something safe and accessible, even if it loses a little value sitting there. That's the price of safety, and it's worth paying. But money you don't need for years, money sitting in a savings account just in case, for no specific reason, that money has a hidden cost. It's leaking, slowly, while you think it's secure. The economist Milton Friedman spent decades studying this exact tension, and one of his core observations was simple. Holding cash isn't neutral. It's a choice, and like every choice, it has a cost, even when that cost doesn't show up as a number you can see right away. There's a name for this hidden cost. Economists call it opportunity cost, and it just means this. Every dollar you leave sitting still, is a dollar that wasn't out there working. It wasn't in something that could grow faster than prices rise. It wasn't earning. It was waiting. And waiting has a price tag, even though no one ever hands you the receipt. This is why two people can save the exact same amount, for the exact same number of years, and end up in very different places. One person parked their extra money in a basic account and let it sit. The other person let some of it sit for safety and moved the rest somewhere built to outpace inflation over time. Same discipline, same monthly habit, completely different outcome 20 years later, because one of them understood that the goal was never just to accumulate dollars. The goal was to accumulate buying power. So what's the actual lesson here? It's not that saving is bad. It's that saving alone was never the finish line. It was always supposed to be the starting point, a holding pattern before that money goes somewhere that can actually outpace the speed at which prices rise. Which brings us back to where we started. Every month you do the responsible thing. You take some of your salary and put it away. But maybe the responsible thing isn't just storing your money. Maybe it's asking where that money is losing the least. And quietly, that question is the one most people never think to ask.